What is up, Bombad fam? Welcome to the final episode of 2019, and of course, with this final episode, we had plenty of bloopers for this this opening. For some reason, Jerry couldn't get it right, and of course, right when he does get the intro right, there is a technical error that does occur. So the intro is going to be a little bit different, but man, does it make me laugh. So I hope you get a kick out of it too. All right, fam. Thank you for everything in 2019, and stay bombad and enjoy the show.
Waves, 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 and I am ready to roll. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, the Canon Junkie. Welcome to the final episode of the Bombadcast of 2019. Sad, as my boy Dio once said. And he...
No way.
Wait a second. Did I...
No way.
Are you guys still there?
Oh my god. This can't be. I'm dying. What are the odds of that? They're so good. Perfect timing, man. Welcome to the final.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bombadcast. My name is Gerald. Some call me the Canon Junkie. And you are here at our very poignant final episode of 2019. As my good friend Dio once said, sad. Now, without further ado, I think I'm going to go ahead and bring in my buddy, the backstabber himself, Mr. Scotty Jarreau. Scotty, how you doing?
What is up, baby Ewok man, Gerald?
What's up?
We are so excited to finally get to this episode. 2019 has been a wonderful year for the Bombadcast. We started. We've had the pleasure of becoming a viral video. It's just been one thing after another, and it's been so exciting. And we actually have a reoccurring guest, a returning guest, if you will, from the summer, from like some of the early episodes.
Intriguing.
If I'm not mistaken, you'd be like the 7th or 8th episode of the Bombadcast. We've got Troy Jarreau, the Elder Pug 27. What's going on, Troy?
What's happening? How y'all doing?
Doing
This is
excellent,
fantastic. We're doing
dude.
great.
It's finally good to have you back on like the main show and stuff. Or main show,
Yeah,
side
I'm
show,
glad.
Mando show, whatever you want to call it. But
I'm glad to be back. It has been a long-awaiting return, and we have a lot to talk about today.
Oh, do we?
there's a lot happening in the world of Star Wars right now for sure. And we're going to talk about a big chunk of some amazing thing that's been going on ever since the early parts of November. So what are we talking about today, Scotty?
We are going to be bringing up and discussing the amazing the first live action show, The Mandalorian, and how it almost doesn't feel like a live action show because of how much they're filling this thing up with wonderful Easter eggs and references. It's like it was written for Star Wars fans in mind. And I know that sounds really silly, but like if you really think about it, they really could have done a very bland type of writing style, and they could have really taken back on a lot of the references, but they did not hold back. And I think that's why we are so excited to talk about this show and overall how we felt and how this first season was and how, what it did for us. I don't know. Troy, can we kind of start off with you? Because I wanted to have you on the show in particular because back when we were younger, like years and years ago, Troy was a big Boba Fett guy. Everything was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And when this show was announced, I think everyone was under the impression that it was going to deal with Boba Fett, or the idea of Boba Fett being a character, or even I think even the very first interviews, Jon Favreau was like, yeah, those bounty hunters from Empire Strikes Back, like I wrote the whole thing around that. Like we kind of already had like a preconceived idea of what this show was going to be. And what we got was ultimately very different.
Very different.
Very different. So, Troy, how overall this first season, how would you rank on your Star Wars meter, and how much did you like it?
I absolutely loved it, man. Just everything from that you learned just from the lore, from the Mandalorian races and the religion and everything like that. I mean, it doesn't dive too deep into it. Like if you've watched Clone Wars, you watched all these other things, about the Mandalorians and, where they come from and everything like that. And this is kind of like the backstory of it, kind of like, the aftermath, if I would say, like the Great Purge has happened.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot left. You see, they in the show they hide in the shadows. No more than one is allowed to come up at a time. Everything like that. So, I mean, the whole bounty hunter perspective is, it's a badass style.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a Mandalorian walking around, any of the characters in the show, whenever you just see the Mando walking around, they're all like, oh, a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah.
Like, it's a rare deity. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I want to say one thing, too. It's the idea of, like, when we got this show and everything was coming out about it, I didn't expect it to be this intense on Mandalorian lore. Like, of course, they gave the name The Mandalorian, but I did not think we'd get this crazy knighthood style storytelling, too. With I mean, they always had the Clan Vizsla and Clan, all the clan stuff in the Clone Wars, but to get in a live action show and to have, and this might sound a little mean, but we're like ultra passionate fans, but to have like the regular fans kind of have to keep up.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Like they really kind of like what they did with Solo with the Maul thing. They kind of just expect you to know it, you know? And if you don't know it, you better do some research because you're going to feel real lost in the dark, and just like the whole dark saber thing too. That was, I'm sure to some people, which of course to us, we were like standing on the couch freaking out, To some people, they're like, what is that,
Yeah, they've never seen something like that.
No.
If we're like jumping to the Darksaber right now, then, which, I mean, how can you not? Like, I was watching it sitting, I'm sitting in my living room recording tonight, guys, and I was sitting here. My wife was doing other stuff. She was gonna read a book or something. She was looking for her journal, came in here looking, and I'm like freaking out. She's got headphones in, so she doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. She just knows that I'm having a conniption on the couch, like, foaming at the mouth, rocking back and forth, going, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that!" And it was just. I did not know, and you would text me. I didn't get to watch the episode until like the end of that day, and I remember you texting me.
Yeah,
you were texting me, Scott, my friend. Shout out to my boy from down south, Phil, who is. I'm gonna try to get him to listen to this episode because he actually likes The Mandalorian and stuff. But dude, you were all talking to me about like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I haven't seen it yet. Don't say anything and stuff. And like
the payoff was great.
That I was going to like crap my pants or something, basically. And so
yes, I did.
Yeah, confirmed, man. That was my gosh.
It's funny you say that, Jerry, because I did the same exact thing to Scott before he watched it. I texted him and I was like, "You are gonna freak out.
Yeah.
You're gonna want season 2 right now."
It's not. It's one of those things. Like you want to talk to someone who is just as excited about that as you are right now.
Yes,
that's one of those. That's what I love about Star Wars. Is sometimes when you have a moment that hits like that, you can't hold it in. Mm-hmm. You have to like. You're like, this has to go somewhere. I have to like go and scream on top of my roof or something, because like I need the world to know that the Darksaber is back, or I saw a Lothcat, or whatever is exciting you in The Mandalorian. But there's so many. That was I don't know. Do you think do you guys think that was the biggest holy crap moment of the entire season?
No.
We'll get into this in a second, but I want to say this real quick.
Okay. I'm jumping ahead.
No. You're perfect, dude. But the one thing I want to you're beautiful, actually.
Thank you.
No,
you know what? You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
No one else is beautiful? Our new website. Okay, so we'll get into that later. But I want to say one thing. It's this show has done something that I never would have thought it done. Like, I mean, like, I've been talking to your dad about it. Whenever I see your dad, I see Troy's dad. I saw him last night. I talked to him about it. He's like, man, he's very energetic. He's a lot like me, and he's like very enthusiastic. But like to hear people that normally would never watch an animated show gush over the things that are good about the animated shows, but in a live action show, it is
right,
pardon my language, I was the F word. It is freaking it's amazing. It's like everyone's so in tune to the show, and I think the overall thing, and I think this was the best moment for me. Hold on, I'm gonna hold back. I'm jumping all over the place. The Baby Yoda thing really kind of just kicked off the show for everyone. Everyone had to see the show after the Baby Yoda stuff came out. Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, like that was a catalyst for everyone.
They had said the first episode has a huge spoiler in it, and I was like, how are they, what is it? For Star Wars?
Yes.
Like, what does that even mean?
Yes.
Like, what are you saying? Are you saying like Luke Skywalker was like secretly Chewbacca the entire time? Like,
I mean,
what is going to be so earth-shattering?
In reality, though,
or galaxy-shattering.
To me, that's the biggest, surprise.
Yes.
From the show.
Oh,
yes.
The Darksabers.
Absolutely.
So, you can for us.
Yes.
For people who know what it is and everything, the backstory, and you know its origin. You're like, holy moly! Like, what? How? Why?
Yeah.
When? What? Where?
Right.
But I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, I think the Baby Yoda reveal was
insane.
And I mean, you can't top that.
No, and
no,
I think that.
Well,
was,
and he's.
Oh, what's up, Jerry?
No, I was just gonna go ahead with your point because I was just gonna say something stupid.
No. What I wanted to say was like, it was awful because if you hadn't watched, it came out a Tuesday night, right, or something. Was it a Tuesday night?
Yeah,
Tuesday and a Friday. Yeah,
the 12th was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday.
If
you had not watched it by that Friday, it was already on Facebook and Twitter. And like
it was trending
the official,
on Twitter.
The official site
yes.
posted it that next week.
Yes, that Monday. It was that Monday.
Like StarWars.com, The Mandalorian, and everyone else, all of us who were like trying to make content and be polite to our UK listeners and stuff were like, we're not going to talk about it. Like, oh, well, I guess Cat's out of the Baby Yoda's out of the bag now.
Well, yeah. It's crazy because I had people that normally would never talk about Star Wars come up and say, that Baby Yoda thing's so cute. Is that in the new movie? I'm like, let me sit you down because it's on this. It's already the second episode of this whole entire series, and like, I think that was the initial. There's been, and we'll get into the moments, but there's been several moments in this show where I've been like, damn, like. This show's doing it. Like,
Yep.
There's a whole, like the Rise of Skywalker had their moments, like, Palp and the whole Luke with the X-Wing. Those are some great moments. But this show, within almost every episode, they've had at least a handful of moments that are like, oh, didn't expect that. And we'll get into our favorite moments in a second. But I think the reveal of the child, of Baby Yoda, was the thing that monumentally made this show so special. Like I went to buy I was at GameStop and I was buying a gift for my friend Chase, and I was in there and they had a Baby Yoda pre-order form for like plushes, and like it's so funny, like
it's like 1977 all over again.
Yeah, and like people were like, I watched people pre-order a Baby Yoda plush. Like it's like insane. Like
I know. I was looking at them. They're not coming out till like July.
No,
like June or July.
Right. It's middle of the year next year. Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, dude, Baby Yoda is bigger than all the 2020 candidates combined right now, and he has my vote for real. Seriously, most of my Facebook, when I go, we always make fun of Facebook, how Facebook is the true test of popularity.
It is.
Because if you've got like the people on Facebook talking about it, like our grandparents, and I'm making it seem older than it is, but for real, that's like the site where it's like Twitter's where it's happening, Instagram is the big one, and then but if you've got like, I see like a Baby Yoda meme like every other post.
Yes.
And it's not just people who are Star Wars fans. I know that for a fact.
It's
so I'm like, oh my goodness. Every single episode has had a memeable moment with that little guy too, and so you know what? I'm gonna put out a call real quick too, because every show has like a name for Baby Yoda, except for us. I feel like so you guys, when this episode comes out this next Tuesday, by the time 31st. You're listening to this, go on Twitter at the Bombadcast, tweet at us what you think the name of Baby Yoda should be on this show.
Yes, we will give it a name.
Tell us what you think, and we'll see what we can call him, because I don't know. I feel like we need to officially name him on this.
We
show.
do.
I love that idea.
Yeah, we do need a little clever name for him. Yeah, well, with that being said, like, this show has done so much for Star Wars. Like, trust me, The Rise of Skywalker is incredible, but this show kind of subdued my excitement for that movie because of the release and what it was doing during each episode. Like, each episode did have a moment when you're like, wow, that's different for Star Wars. And in particular, I mean, the first episode, that ending was... Like, okay, I want to say this before we even talk about Baby Yoda again, but how the hell did that not leak? Nothing leaked. It was on set with all the little kids.
Because they didn't make toys.
That's definitely what it is. It has to be that.
It has to be. Because I don't know what happened, but it had, like, I've heard rumors. I don't know if it's just people talking, that Jon Favreau like went to, like, Bob Iger was like, dude, what are you doing? We gotta market the heck out of this, and he was like, just wait, I promise it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
And I mean, when someone like Jon Favreau, who's made them buckets and buckets of cash, like, asks that. That's the kind of clout you have to make something like that happen, man.
Totally.
Like, it wouldn't have happened. I don't think it would have happened without Favreau. Like, because Filoni, I mean, him and Filoni, I'm sure, were like, I don't know whose idea it even was to do that.
I don't know, man. They had to have gotten the blessing.
I have no clue. I have no clue how they kept that.
I think they had to have gotten a blessing from George.
They had to. From George, all the way.
What else could the child have been to be this significant? Like, I can't even think of anything else now. But when that first episode came out...
Baby Jar Jar. Baby Gungan.
That would be great. No, but, like, seriously. I mean, it could have been a Wookiee. I don't know what it would have been. That would have been... We had heard the leaks and rumors that it was about a child. And, like, I kept thinking, how are they going to make this interesting? It could be the same exact Western trope of, like, I gotta be a cowboy that saves a baby. But it's just not that. It was so not that.
Yeah,
it was like...
It was very unexpected.
It was just so... And it was so well done. And it was... I mean, I love the... I guess... I don't know. It's one of those things I could talk about forever because it was... so surprising. And I think Katie and I must talk about it once a week. When we watch the episode, I go, how did this not leak? Like, how? The 501st were on set for that, you know? Like, the 501st people were there.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm sure there was a shot where they had to be, where they saw a child in the... I don't know how it didn't leak. It honestly makes no sense.
I have no clue. Well, and, with all the shot with all the troopers was that whole, like, IG-11 riding into town with the baby strapped to his chest. So maybe it's because that was supposed to be a CG shot, or I have no clue. But you know what I do know? My 2.5-year-old freaking loves Baby Yoda. Will not watch the show with me, but there is a Perry Grip song, Baby Yoda. And we watch that over and over and over and over. And she's like, well, I see you want to watch this? She says, yes, Baby Loda.
Baby Loda.
And stuff. And so, she was saying, maybe we call him Baby Loda. I don't know.
That's cute.
But no, dude. This is, I don't know. You had to have, I don't know who they paid. I don't know if there was, like, there were assassins in the rafters.
I have no idea.
Everyone jokes about that. But, like, dude, once that thing got out, it's like taking the lid off of a Tupperware that has, like, fish in it for lunch at work.
Yes.
It's going to spread around. Everyone's going to know you're having fish for lunch.
Yes.
Wherever you're at. If you, I don't know. I don't understand, like, how they kept it. But anyway.
The crazy part is, like, imagine, just think about the show if it didn't have Baby Yoda in it and how amazing it still would be.
You're right.
And, this is, they kind of, like, lured you in with Baby Yoda on this show because, even though Baby Yoda is, like, a huge significance to the show, without it and all the scenes that took place and all the scenarios would still have made sense still have been, as badass. But they give you Baby Yoda in there to be like, just think about it and be like, if something happens to him, always worrying about the little child.
It's amazing because it's the first show to do this because, like, every other Star Wars show has led to something else. So, like, Rebels, that Ezra or Kanan are probably going to die because there's no more Jedi. Clone Wars, how the Clone Wars ends. But this show is, like, still open book. That 30-year gap is a huge gap. And things might happen within Return of the Jedi and, I guess, The Force Awakens. But, like, the fact that Baby Yoda, is not only just a thing, but could have very well not been and still have been a great show. I mean, that's a beautiful point, Troy. I didn't even think about that.
All you do is have it be like just a force sensitive kid or something.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have to be like a Yoda or anything. I don't know, I don't know. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Troy. It's Baby Yoda is just the hook.
Yes.
That's all. That's all he is.
Another beautiful thing.
I'm just kidding. He's awesome.
Another beautiful thing I think about the show is, you get all these people together and everything like that, and Baby Yoda's here. Well, when Baby Yoda uses the Force for the first time, and Mando is trying to explain it to what's his name, Quinn?
Yeah,
Quill.
Yeah,
Quill.
And he's like, "Tell me the story again." And then you see, all the other characters, when they finally start seeing Baby Yoda use the Force, nobody knows what it is.
It's amazing.
And it's like,
Right.
they think it's some kind of magic, and it's like, we know what it is, but the characters have no clue what it is, and it's just such a cool feature, I think, for them to add, to be like, okay, they've never been around Jedi, they've never seen the Jedi and Sith, all that's gone, and all that's just fairy tales now, so you put Baby Yoda in the mix that has it, and you're like, what do we really have going on here?
Yes.
Right. Well, and even that's something that people get hung up on sometimes. I feel like they're like, why don't they know what the Force? They've seen the Jedi were just here 20 years ago, but what we need to realize is even back when the Jedi were in full force,
There's only 10,000.
that was just there was only 10,000, 20,000, however many, with thousands of star systems, billions upon trillions of people.
Yeah.
There's going to be people it's not too far off to think we got to remember that we're the audience. Of course, we know what the Jedi are. I mean, we've known since 1977 or whenever you were born, dude. This, it is such a cool aspect of the show. You're 100% right, Troy, because that is I don't know. It's such a cool thing to look and go see these people really just kind of try to discover for the first time what is this power this thing has? What is going on? Why do these people? They want it for its power, but why? And what? I don't know. I'm ready. Season 2 right now, please.
Well, so to kind of break down certain sections, I want to kind of talk about the story, which we already kind of got into, and we already talked about the child, but I want to break up the music, the characters, the world building, and the Easter eggs, and we could do it in that order. How many of y'all I know in this group, but I can tell you, my stepdad did not like the music at first. He likes it more now, but that music, for a fan, was so different than what they did with Rebels and Clone Wars and what they did with every other facet of Star Wars storytelling. I like it.
Right.
It honestly took about 2 episodes for me to really dig it, but now it's amazing. It's such a cool combination of tech and
I love it.
Like a organic kind of flute, it's just it's awesome.
I listen to that intro all the time. It's on my phone, and I play it all the time.
Dude, the intro, every intro is great. I'm always waiting for the title card to pop up because they always do something a little different. But it's still the bum 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 bum. So it took me a couple of episodes before I was down with the music too, Scotty. Actually, the first episode came out, and I downloaded the theme song and listened to it over and over again because I loved that almost Rocky-esque ba-na-na, da-na-na, dun-dun, da-na-na, it just, I don't know, the whole training montage, whatever they did, it really was like a Rocky scene.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, it's refreshing seeing something because everyone usually tries to just do what John Williams did.
Yes.
If they do something, which is not, I mean, John Williams is a great guy to
replicate,
copy, right?
Yeah,
it's a great thing to replicate because it's a great sound. It's an iconic sound. But someone made this point somewhere, and I think it might have been on the Resistance broadcast, but they said, we're not going to be able to move anywhere and be open for different kinds of stories if we're constantly just being fed the same exact thing.
That's true.
Over and over and over again. And I really dig that they went with a different feel for the music. It's almost like a techno Western feel. And I really, really dig that. And so, I don't know. It fits for what this show is, 100%.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to be said about the music itself. And, the same guy who did Black Panther did the music for this. And the Black Panther music was great, though. But I think this might be his pinnacle of work. Because the cool thing is there's some orchestral parts that then flow back into the electronic part. one of my favorite songs was the Mudhorn scene. You know, with the it's like this crazy sound, and then he's like in that hazy days moment, and the music's making this crazy. It's just like the editing and the pacing of the show has also been really well too with the music and like. Anytime a ship takes off, like it's its own weird little theme, and it's just like there's a lot of things to be said, and I really need to, honestly, and I'm sure Jerry, I think you've watched the episodes most of everyone in this room, like because Troy says he watched them about twice and that's it, and he stops. I watched them about once.
I watched a couple of times, except for like the last three have been like just once for me, too, but.
I've been trying not to burn out on it.
So good.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no.
Like, I love Clone Wars and I love Rebels, but I've seen some of the shows enough to be a little burnt out on. Like the Mortis arc, I love the Mortis arc, but I've seen it maybe 7 or 8 times, so I'm burnt out on it. Like, I know what happens, and I kind of can predict the lines, and it doesn't feel as fresh anymore, but, like, I don't want to do that with this show. Right. And it's so hard not to, because it's like... Especially, it's funny because... we can get into that in a little bit, but I want to talk about each episode and what it did for the show, and... As much as people didn't like episode 5, I thought episode 5 was probably one of the most fun ones to watch with the Tatooine and the like. It was shot for shot, like really well done. Right. But we'll get into that in a second. Music's great. Love the music. I'm glad we can bring that up. The characters this show had, it was so like kind of streaming service. Weird. It's weird to say that, but like it was the way they built the characters was so good. And then the fact that Mando went from being this, like, really tough, scary dude to then all of a sudden having to be, like, a dad protector was just so clever.
So good.
Right. Dude, it was like, he felt like Indiana Jones in a suit of armor, honestly. It's like this dude who's like, I mean, dude, he could kick your butt. He's a bad guy. He's a bad dude, man. But he's like... He fails. He's not 100%. Like he's on when he's on. Like that scene you're talking about in. Well, you said episode 5, but episode 6, The Prisoner. Where like he's sneaking up behind that dude.
Yes,
it's like watching a freaking Dark Knight movie. You know, like that's Batman sneaking up on this guy.
Yeah, that was so alien oriented, like the movie.
Alien, like so like horror movie.
Oh, dude, it was so good. I love that episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that episode's so great. But what I love is like they mix in with that. Like he's no one to mess with. Like this dude is skilled. He's a Mandalorian for a reason, but he's not perfect, and he's not a god.
No.
You know, he's at first when we see him in the first 2 episodes, he's a dude doing a job, and man, bounty hunting is way crappier than we remember.
Yeah, that's one thing. And this show did do that for Star Wars. Is like we always thought like bounty hunting was like you show up, you strangle the guy, you show up and you carbonite freeze him and you take him back to wherever you're done with. And I'm sure in the video games is a little bit like that too.
Yep.
But this really showed the nitty gritty, dirty side of like you get your ship torn apart by Jawas and like you have to go save a village and you're getting shot at by some sort of person who has the high ground. It shows that Star Wars in this own thing is not this grand experience.
Your old girlfriend throws you into a jail cell.
Yeah, the ex throws you into a jail cell. Right. That's awesome. No, this show really did do a lot for this characters too of this of Star Wars, because you had this idea of a bounty hunter, but you never thought it'd be like this. And there's a lot of backstabbing going on, and I think that's why The Prisoner might be also one of my favorites too, because it did a lot of that really well, and it also gave you some characters you were very sad to part with, because we lost probably 2 of the best characters this season. We watched IG-11 and Quill. Quill. I don't know how to say his name, but
both of those. It's I think it's Quill. But Quill. Yeah, Quill. Okay. It's just Quill.
I love Quill. I have spoken. I have spoken. That's
dude.
That was so good.
Sad.
And the Blargs and all that too. That was amazing.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. Yeah, the characters were great.
What's his name? I really like the guild leader, the bounty hunter guild leader. What's his name?
Grief Karga.
I love that guy's character. Like, it is just so thought out, where he's just he's like this high class, guy.
Yeah.
But he's really, he's the lowest of scum.
Yeah,
but he lives in such like a high class era where it's like, I have all these targets for you, and you could come and be working with me and make all the money and everything like that. And it's just like he's just the true like of scum and villainy kind of guy, but I love his character.
Yeah, that
Dude, I almost love that he played it so much. Like, it was just like Carl Weathers in Star Wars, Carl Weathers in space, almost like from Arrested Development. But like, I loved it because he played it it's just so cool. That kind of cheesy character is so awesome, and I love that he's big and bombastic.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go with wherever the winds take me. Wherever the money goes is where my allegiance lies. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta have. He was excellent. I love. Baby, you got a stew going. I don't know. Okay, that's all I can say. I just love Reef.
Do the hand thing, baby.
Yeah,
that was
the hand
that was
thing.
one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
Do the hand thing, baby.
Also, he's going to eat me.
Like doing that. Stop it! He's going to eat me. And then he puts his hand on him, and that was also a really cool moment. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. I keep wanting to jump ahead, but characters were great. Quill was awesome.
Great character.
Cara Dune.
Oh,
That's
yes.
such a good. I love the intro with her and the Mando wrestling and fighting each other, and then it just ends with all right, let's get a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoda sipping the soup and stuff.
Yeah.
The new Kermit meme.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Gina Carano did so good this season, and my only wish is that we got a little more of her, because they almost and Quill. I wanted. It was funny because remember when they first started, they had Quill and her and IG-11 on the posters with Mando and stuff, and so everyone was kind of like, wait, where'd they go? And then of course they kind of built up this Avengers team moment at the end, and so. So good.
It's great.
That was honestly one of my favorite moments of the last episode was when the IG droid comes riding into town, just blowing up the stormtroopers. I mean, dude, that was so cool. I was on my feet at that point, just being yes, go and save them.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea how they were going to get out of that cantina. And I'm just he comes riding in, I must protect, you know?
Yes. Nerd
Right.
droids.
Oh, man, it was so good.
I also love the. They didn't even give a name. What was Werner Herzog's character? They didn't give a name. The client.
The client.
Yeah.
The client is all they ever said. I like to call
simply
him
being pragmatic.
creepy grandpa.
Yeah.
I like to call him creepy grandpa. He's like, I want to see the baby.
To see the child.
Yes.
Yes. The
Yes.
bounty hunting.
Can I get that gif
complicated
right now,
profession.
please?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
Yes.
Straight up shot that dude.
Dude, they shot him to the chest. That was amazing.
Right,
How about Moff
right there. I
Gideon,
noticed
though?
today. Oh my goodness.
Gideon.
That's an
Wait till,
intimidating character.
Yeah, for real.
They waited right up until the end for him, and we can see why now.
Yes.
This is to see this. I don't know, this imposing Imperial character. We've set something that I've been thinking about with Moff Gideon is Favreau and Filoni said we're going to get hints into the origins of the First Order in this series.
Yeah.
I think this dude has ties to the First Order. I think that's why
totally.
he's so straight-laced and stuff, But just the fact that he has again, back to the Darksaber and stuff, it's just, and that Mando, because of that sword, probably is that he has the sword, so officially he's the rightful ruler of Mandalore, at least right now. He's the acting that's the guy who has the sword, so I guess he's the ruler now, but doesn't mean they have to like it. So there's, I don't know, so much cool stuff to come with Gideon.
I mean, the fact that Gideon knew who Mando was, his first name, where he came from, and then he knew Cara,
everything.
Yep.
He knew all the people in the building. It was he had the info on everyone.
That was good. It was
that was a really cool,
It was one of those moments where it was just so Star Wars, and it was you're a rebel shock trooper who was from Alderaan. You're like, whoa! No
I was
wonder
gonna
she
say,
hates the
what did you
Imperials.
think of that?
It makes sense. It makes sense now. No wonder she hates the Imperials, no matter what.
Yeah, she was ready to jump in, as
Yes.
soon as he said, it's their ex-Imperial. She's like, okay, I'm in.
They killed everyone she
that
knew.
Was to me that was the biggest reveal at first when I was like,
I know.
Ooh, she's from Alderaan. She's Alderanian. That's
Yeah.
cool. And then I had no idea. I had no idea what was coming. So
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
That was
so good.
that
So
was a
good.
solid reveal.
Another part for Moff Gideon is whenever the stormtroopers are talking back to each other, trying to bring the child back into the city, and they're like, "Are we okay?" And he's like, "Oh, hold on, Moff Gideon just killed somebody for talking back to him.
Hey, that was amazing. Yeah,
Yes.
One of his own men.
Oh, that was so good, and you could, that was so Taika
Yeah.
too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the last one was directed by Taika.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Please, Taika, come back and direct more Star Wars, man. Like that.
Look,
I want IG-11
that
to come
was a
back
huge
somehow,
thing.
man. Like, I don't know.
I think they're going to pull it. I think there's going to be some way they pull that off, and they have to.
It'd probably be like IG-12 or something, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it's just got the
Yeah.
same kind of consciousness. But I don't know. I just thought that whole interaction at the beginning was pitch perfect comedy, and it was 100% like if Flight of the Conchords happened in Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but in the best way possible. But like, did you know? Okay, I don't know who one of the guys is. I forgot his name, but one of those stormtroopers was Jason Sudeikis.
Yes, it was the SNL actor. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome,
Dude. Oh man, I love that. But just I don't know. I love that we kept like inputting those little comedians into the season too. So
yes, and that's one thing we'll get into in regards to cameos and Easter eggs. I love the fact that this show did a lot more world building than what we've seen in Star Wars a lot recently. The fact that they had a bunch of these sweeping landscapes, and you got kind of introduced to the smaller characters at first, and it kind of builds up. You're in the tavern that first episode, and then you meet these two people roughing this one guy, and you see why they're roughing the one guy later. It's just like, for what it did for new aliens too, because we saw some new aliens in this show as well, and the state of the galaxy was probably my favorite idea of this show.
Yeah.
Very lawless, and
Right.
they mention New Republic, and they show the New Republic little cruiser, and that's it, and the X-Wings, and like that's the only thing you saw from the New Republic. Everything else is the Outer Rim area, and it's beautiful.
I love those
Right.
droids on the ship. And you
Yes.
could see the Rebel insignia like spray painted like on their chest.
Oh, really?
Whenever they're walking around, and it
That's
looks
awesome.
really good.
Yeah. The world building is great. I mean, what they did for Tatooine is amazing. All the new planets, what they did even for the Mandalorian culture is humongous. And the idea that there's adopted children that then become warriors was such a cool new thing. And the fact that Baby Yoda is pretty much now an adopted Mandalorian, it's like it's awesome. And
Yep.
the fact that they call him his enemy, it's just like. It took everything that we've been reading and learning, plus Troy, everything that you've been reading and learning about Star Wars and just like building on it, in the best way possible.
right.
It's just so well done. But does anyone have any Easter eggs they want to share in particular?
I don't know why, but and you could probably hear my cat right beside me right now, guys. I don't know if he's like meowed
I can see
yet. Jack is making his weekly cameo, but. Speaking of Jack being on my lap, though, the Loth cat seeing that in live action was probably
yeah.
I don't know why that was really cool for me, just because like Rebels was such an important part of like this new era of Star Wars for me. Like I was so
getting back
it was like
into Star
it was
Wars.
like just we're following this story and it's a little more intimate than Clone Wars and just Filoni being a part of this, but just. That's just one. There's a ton of stuff, and we can kind of go around and stuff, but just to see things that you've never thought you would ever see in live action.
That was huge.
For me, guys, as a canon junkie, that's what I live for is the connectivity. I want to see all this stuff bleed into every part of the media. I want to see it like in the video games. I want to see it in the live action. I want to see it in the animated, and it's kind of like the promise fulfilled that we got when they first started. When they first started, they were like, everything counts. Everything's going to just it's all going to be one cohesive thing. Things are going to bleed into other things. And I'm all for new stuff. I want new stuff. I don't want them to recycle the same garbage over and over again. It's not garbage. It's awesome. It's Star Wars. But it's really cool and fulfilling, like we've been talking about, Scott, that to see this stuff in live action. But I don't know, for some reason the Loth cat is just like a symbol of that for me.
It is. It's because you've spent so much time with that character and Lothal and everything in this new world of Star Wars that people often for some reason disregard in its own weird right. But like it's this payoff that has been so huge, with watching all the animated shows and being involved with the discussions and like the subtle references. Like some of my favorite Easter eggs are like this looks like a Canto Bight slot machine,
right?
Or,
like little like world references.
Like even the Cara Dune being from Alderaan, and the fact that there's an EV droid hosting, Chalmun's cantina, just stuff like that. It's like. It's
the R2 droid at the last episode that just has arms and legs.
Yes, the gondola droid. That was
that
crazy.
Reminded me of L3.
Yeah, so
man. Like it's kind of like an astromech like customized. Like it is. Yeah, so cool.
Well, Troy, you got any Easter eggs in particular that you were pretty fond of?
Yes, the ATST in episode 4.
They gave it a name too.
Yeah.
No one knew. Like ATST was never said in canon.
Yeah, no. It just, dude, seeing that, and just, that was actually probably, we'll get in that later about, which episodes are our favorite, the best, and fun, but, seeing that in particular, like, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then the threat that it brought to the village on that, on that planet, they had never seen something like that. I mean, the last time we saw one of those was in a war, and these people aren't suited for a war, and the Mando's got to come in and step in and, save the day. But that for me, just seeing that again, that was a huge Easter egg for me.
It was scary.
It was really scary. It had the red glow in it.
It felt like watching Jurassic Park too. Like whenever they were like running from it, they found the footprints. Like kudos to them, man. Like that was just how awesome that they made those things scary again. Like it's like they're not just being knocked over by teddy bears anymore. So
no, and it was just so. That whole scene was just so well put together too, and like you saw its red eyes deep in the forest. It's just like it makes it seem scary again. Yeah,
comes through and like really and realistic. One of those things could just decimate a uncivilized city like that. A village.
See, my favorite Easter egg so far, and it's probably the freshest Easter egg. We could say the Darksaber was cool, but the fact that it was Deathwatch that saved Din Djarin as a little kid, dog. That implies so much. And Jerry, I think you were the first one to point that out to me. But it implies so much to like who his character could have known. Like he could have known Pre Vizsla, and he could have been involved with that crew. It's just like the Deathwatch apparently was supposed to be a militia that of course. Was just trying to get the warrior aspect back in Mandalore, but like to think they went off world and possibly save other people it's pretty cool. Awesome.
That's pretty crazy.
Hey, after they broke off, Maul, spoilers for that, kills. Oh gosh, I blanked on the name and stuff. Pre Vizsla.
Satine?
He kills Pre Vizsla and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if it was after they split off because after that, like Bo-Katan's a little more like. Kind and altruistic, before that,
good point.
It's a little more like an evil Saw Gerrera before that, but what I thought, how nerdy I am though, is how I at first was like, oh, I think that's Deathwatch. It wasn't just the blue suit. Before I even saw them, there were like yellow laser bolts flying around, and that's. That's how freaking much of a nerd I am. I was like, whoa, Deathwatch has yellow laser bolts.
I didn't get it till Scott sent it to me.
Oh, man. It's because I've seen Clone Wars way too, an ungodly amount of times. So, but no, I love it.
Well,
so
it makes you the best thing. Another thing about this show, I gotta say it, is it's gonna make me go back and watch those episodes of Clone Wars.
Yeah,
we're gonna watch it all differently too.
Well, and then I was thinking about it just now too, and if Maul and Vizsla had that allegiance and stuff like that for a little while, that would have definitely had to have been after it because I mean. Didn't they have droids and stuff walking around the city or walking around Mandalore with them and stuff? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can't really remember. I think they were trying to become a force to reckon with the Republic and the Separatists. I think, but I don't know. It's why Maul is involved with the crime syndicates in Solo. He gets involved with all the crime syndicates and makes like a underworld army and stuff. So. Man, I got to rewatch that.
Well, one thing I got. Yeah, well, I'm going to interject real quick. I need to send this to you, Jerry. A wonderful person on Twitter, Star Wars Rebels activist at CL Stano. This person posted like the episodes you should rewatch in order to like get the whole Mandalorian culture down. And for anyone listening, the episodes are Season 2, Episode 12, Season 2, Episode 13, Season 2, Episode 14. That's the whole Mandalore kind of sequence of events. That's the one where you meet Duchess Satine and everything. Season 3, Episode 5, Season 3, Episode 6, Season 4, Episode 14, Season 4, Episode 21, and Season 4, Episode 22. So for Clone Wars, those are the ones you should rewatch. And like literally tonight, once I'm done doing this pod and we're done hanging out, I am probably going to pull up the first 3 episodes and watch them. Because like I want to get a refresher. Because what it does, you know, with the Darksaber, I got to kind of refresh myself.
I actually did go back and watch the first 2.
Yeah.
I think it was after episode 5 or 6. Mm-hmm. I can't remember which one.
It was good?
Yeah, but I went and watched the first 2 because I was like, wait, don't they have that on Clone Wars? And I was like, I haven't seen it in a few years now.
It has been a while for me to watch the first couple of seasons of Clone Wars too. Then we got Season 5, Episode 14, Season 5, Episode 15, and Season 5, Episode 16. So like, it's just like, it's so cool that. And as for the Rebels episodes, Season 2, Episode 13, Season 3, Episode 7, Season 3, Episode 11, Season 3, Episode 15, and Season 3, Episode 16. Those are all more ones you can watch for Rebels. And then the last one, which I remember very well, was the beginning to Season 4, Episodes 1 and 2, where they, you know, the heroes of Mandalore, and they kind of go into a lot more Mandalore culture in that one. So, like, it's just so cool to know that these shows have such big payoffs in regards to what we got in Clone Wars versus what we're getting now. So yeah, I don't know. I think the big idea of this is it might provoke more people to watch more Star Wars things.
I need to watch Rebels. I still haven't seen any of Rebels.
Yeah, Troy is going to get on Rebels probably now after this is over. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. No. It's great like that. That's the best thing about Star Wars is no matter what, you can always give a rewatch to certain things. But I guess I want to go into one of the big things we do in the Bombadcast. The thing I've made up one of our first couple episodes. It's the idea of Star Wars can be categorized into 3 things to me. You got the best, your favorite, and the most fun. So does anyone want to start off in particular? The what they think is the best episode out of all of them?
I guess I can go first here. Okay. Let me see here. I'll just bite this bullet and get it over with. I think if I had to say, okay, I love this question, by the way, and I love that this is coming back because it's such a great way to categorize all of this. And if I had to pick the best episode,
and it works.
It works so well because it really makes you think. But I think, I don't know, the best episode for me, I think the best episode right now, I think is that finale for me. For some reason, there's sometimes you can really with finales like just it can be balls to the wall and it's like, oh, that was a great, like, you know, there was a lot of action, there was a lot of this, but the story points hit, like everything was so perfectly like tuned in it. It was a great ending, but it was just also a great episode of television. So I'd have to say that is the best. So kudos to Taika. But okay, my favorite I think is, I'm trying to remember the chapter names and stuff. Like, so this last one was Redemption, right? Chapter 8 was Redemption.
Yeah, Redemption.
Chapter 3, The Sin, I think has to be my favorite of the entire season. The whole
that's the one with Deborah Chow. That was the one where she did with the God.
Dude, well, and see, I almost even want to switch those now, but I think I'll keep it this way because it's so masterful the way they have him like come there. He parades the baby like through the town, and the way he like leaves it there. There's the whole idea of the sin being him, to me, being him like actually going through with it at first, but then the guilt gets to him. My favorite scene in that whole thing is actually where he's like sitting in the cockpit and sees the little ball that he took off of the stick shift there. The lever. I guess it's not. I don't know. Are starships manual or are they? I don't know. I don't know what kind of transmission they have. But he takes he took the knob off, and Yoda had it, or Baby Yoda had it, Baby Loda, whoever. And just the acting in that scene, that this dude with a helmet, we're watching him have a crisis of conscience. Like, he's like, I got to keep my head in the game and go, I got this new armor. He gets all the stuff, and then he's like, immediately, like, turns everything on, turns it all off, and marches back in and makes it right. The whole episode.
Yeah.
I don't know, pitch perfect for me. So that's, I don't know. So, yeah, okay. That's the favorite one of the season. Now, most fun, I think the one that I had the most fun with had to be, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is Chapter 6, The Prisoner, which I think you guys were watching shortly before we watched this. Or
we were watching it shortly before we started.
Everything about that episode is just so fun. Like, the whole crew of scum and villainy they've got, and just, I don't know, so good. But anyway, so those are mine. So you've got Chapter 8, Chapter 3, and Chapter 6 for my best, my favorite, and the most fun.
Yeah. Troy, do you have your list?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's hear yours.
So the best for me, I would have to agree with Jerry on the finale, episode 8. I think that one is it's put together very well. Taika Waititi did a great job with that. I mean, the Stormtroopers dialogue, IG coming in there, destroying everybody, protecting everything, and then I think one part we missed on that episode was when the Stormtroopers invade the sewers, and the girl who's the crafter for all the armor and everything for the Mandalorians. The armor, and she's just sitting there, and she just like unloads on those guys.
That was good.
God, that had me so hyped. It was so good.
Never seen so many like Stormtrooper helmets shatter too, like since Rogue One. But that was like even more intense. It was so cool. And then that one dude, apparently, I gotta watch it again. But it's almost like that one dude like melts on the like forge and stuff. Like he melts into the forge.
Yeah, he gets thrown into the smelter or whatever.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then another favorite of mine is sadly when the IG unit has to go.
Right.
And, walks out there in the lava and is like, I cannot be captured and must self-destruct, blows up. And then, of course, at the end of that episode when we see the Mando get to use his jetpack for the first time. And, flies up, sticks the bomb on the TIE fighter and just gets off of it. Yeah, it was so good. Like, just, I mean, all this action sequences in that episode alone were just amazing.
Yeah.
And then I would have to say my favorite for me is that Chapter 4 after the Sin, whenever they go to the planet and he meets Cara Dune.
That's awesome.
And
that is great.
they train up the village. And then the AT-ST fight and everything like that. To me, that was one of my favorites. And that, to a lot of people, that actually was kind of like a low episode, I think, for a lot of people. But something about that episode for me, I thought it was my favorite because you kind of learn a little bit more about the Mando in that episode where, like, he never takes his helmet off. Nobody's ever seen him without his helmet on. Or without his helmet off. And, it's just kind of interesting. You get to see all the kids playing with Baby Yoda and stuff like that. And then, at the end of it, there's still people coming for Baby Yoda, and he realizes that he's not safe anywhere he goes. And so the Mando just has to keep on going. Yeah. And then the most fun episode, I would agree with you again, Jerry, on
you got good taste.
That episode with the prisoner.
God, it's a great episode.
I mean, that episode alone, just all the different actors, the amazing actors they had. Bill Burr. I don't remember the girl's name that played the Twi'lek.
She's in Harry Potter as well.
But her, because she was in Game of Thrones and Harry Potter. You had the cameo appearance from the. Yeah. Yeah. And then you had the cameo appearance for the guy who voices Anakin.
Oh, yeah, Matt Lanter.
Yeah.
In the Clone Wars. And he's in there as the... And then, I mean, just that whole episode was great. I loved it. What about you, Scotty? What's your three?
So my three are, and it's very similar to yours. The best episode, the episode that had the most impact on me was when Little Man first used the Force. That was episode 2. With the
solid choice
with the Mudhorn, like that. I'm pretty emotional, and I'm sure everyone is well aware of that right now when it comes to Star Wars. But like, I teared up because when he, like, it was so unexpected. Like, that was when the show, of course, Baby Yoda is when the show was like, whoa, this is different. But this is when the show took a turn where I didn't expect. Number one, the Force being an aspect, and for him to like save the Mandalorian's butt, and to him to be such a careful little creature to be like, let me help him out. You know, he's about to get really hurt, and the innocence of a child is beautiful, and the fact that the whole argument, raise a Mary Sue, blah blah, that like went right down the hole whenever that happened, because she's overpowered, this blah 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 blah. You know, like, well
clearly she's related to Baby Yoda,
50-year-old child. Yeah, she's related, but not Palpatine.
Right.
No,
she's Ray.
So
Baby
I think
Yoda.
the best episode was episode 2. Yeah, I love the Jawas. I love when he's disintegrating them. I think it was the most impactful on me personally because it was like this idea that the Force is a big thing still, and I didn't expect it to be even a mention in this show. I didn't think we'd get anything Force related.
I didn't think we would either.
And for it to be in the way that it was done was so well crafted, and like the music was amazing, and it just made me tear up because I was like, this is just so unexpected. I didn't think we'd get a Force moment. So that was the best for me.
And everyone thought that was like a throwaway
Rick
episode. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say everyone thought that was a throwaway.
I don't understand why.
Well, because that's his signet now is the Mudhorn, and like also such a huge reveal.
Yes.
So that is one of the better episodes, and I just like, dude, stop sleeping on the Jawa egg episode because there's so much in that one.
No,
that is so important to who this guy. It's so important to who this guy is, man. Yeah. Go get some Sukanog and enjoy the holiday.
Yeah.
It's about to be out of stores forever until next Christmas. So.
Yeah, it was like one of the first times you got up close and personal with the sandcrawler as well.
Yeah, we got to see like the inside area of it. And
he gets in it and he's like having
such
the
a
duck
cool
down.
episode.
They're laughing at him when he hits his head. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, so that's the best one to me.
All that whole like it felt like a video game, like throwing the stuff down at him and stuff when he was trying to climb up the side, but in the best way. So anyway.
I loved it. I thought that really is one of the best to me. It had the most interesting storytelling, honestly. So my favorite is episode 6, The Prisoner. I really do think that is my absolute favorite because of I love the Alien franchise and I love watching those movies, and I like when it's a different feel. Like each episode had its very own unique feel, and this one was the most unique of them all with the band of I don't know, how would you say, not misfits, but there's these guys, these no good guys, and the fact that it even happens the way it does, or they get captured and they all turn on him, and then it's a constant events of trying to flip the table, and every time the Mando's got the upper hand, which is what I love that. I love that because it shows how clever and cunning he can be as a character. That is episode 6 is my favorite. I probably will rewatch that one probably the most up until next fall. Yeah. But my most fun
I'm gonna be rewatching this entire season, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh totally. The most fun for me, and I love Easter eggs. I really do love an episode that's fan servicey. I just do. I think the most fun was definitely chapter 5, whenever they go to Tatooine and they have like a shot for shot, remake of the Razor Crest going down, and and then they see Mos Eisley, and he lands in not the same docking bay, but a similar one, and they got the pit droids from the prequels. That was so good. I'm not gonna lie, that was getting my prequels love going. It was so good because you never saw that crossover before.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. That crossover's never happened before in Star Wars. To see OT and prequel.
Right. That's what I've been longing for this entire time. Is just like having those like all of this stuff. Like it was so cool. Like the prequels and the originals, they do fit together, but to see all of that like intermixed together in the same media is just, like I said earlier with the Lothcat and all that. It's just it makes it feel more cohesive. It's like a glue that kind of starts to make the story feel even tighter. And I don't know. I love that too. I completely understand. I loved those pit droids, dude. That was
amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so cool, and the characters were just like the prequels. They didn't shy away from the fact that they were goofy and shaky and moving all crazy, and they're all they have the whole what's it called, Three Stooges thing going on.
Oh, and I love the babysitter
hit the nose and they go down.
Yeah.
The woman who took care of the child.
Oh yeah.
He went off to do his business, and she's like the mother of those pit droids.
Yes.
She's got like this, I don't know, like this country grandmother attitude, I guess you would say, in a sense, Another thing I loved about that episode in particular is I think Mando goes back into the cantina.
Oh, yeah.
That they, the original cantina shot from A New Hope. Mm-hmm. And I think he even sits where Han and Greedo sit.
Yes,
like
he
in
does.
That exact booth.
Yes, he does.
That's where, what's his name? The young bounty hunter is sitting, and he's sitting the same way, darn him, that Han Solo once sat. He was not worth that. He was not worth his weight in those stupid boots he was wearing. So, anyway.
You're right.
No, it was a really cool episode, and the fact that we got sand people that talk in sign language was really cool.
Oh, yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I love that, and you got the skiff bikes, and the fact that they go in. They mentioned the high ground, and the whole Finnick Shan thing was great.
Right.
I don't know. That episode is going to be the one most people are like, it did nothing for the story, but I feel like when you go back and watch it in terms of kind of what this show is trying to get away with, I think it was really great. And Dave Filoni directed that episode too, so fitting for that director as well.
And you got that stinger at the end too, where we see the boots walking up to Finnick Shand, so
the
something
mystery character.
Something's going on there. Hey, you're Troy. You're saying you're a big Boba Fett fan, man. What do you think the odds are that is Boba?
I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that. It's possible.
Yeah,
I could see it. I mean, so many people. I mean, even I think as lore goes, I mean, he survives the Sarlacc pit and everything. So. Who knows, man? It could be. I think we'll find out maybe in season 2. Might be that might be one of those season 2 cliffhangers, where they leave that at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
And they kind of focus on Mando bringing little man around the universe, trying to find out where he comes from and everything like that, and then they revisit that later.
Yeah, we could get Tamar Morrison too. Would be really freaking good continuity there.
Oh,
that would be crazy.
He would be that age.
That's what I've been thinking. Too. You have just have him the age he is right now would be perfect. Too. I remember that's the one thing when I missed Star Wars whenever Aquaman came out. There was no Star Wars that year, but at the end of the year, but all I could think was freaking Tamir Morrison is just still looking great, man. He could play. He could play Boba Fett easy.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
He could, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I kind of want to get into it because I mentioned the directors, but there were certain feelings for each episode, and you can feel the director had influence of it. Filoni had more of the Easter egg episodes. So he had episode 1 with the holiday special mention, all that stuff, Life Day, and then he had episode 5, chapter 5, with the whole Tatooine Mos Eisley thing. It was it was just fitting for each director, and the fact that Rick Famuyiwa had the one with the episode 2, and he had the Sandcrawler chase sequence, and he also had the one with the prisoners, which was a great episode. Deborah Chow had this 3rd episode, and she had the 7th episode, which was great suspense episodes. Yeah. Each one of them in their own right. And then Bryce Dallas Howard chapter 4 was amazing. Loved that episode. Felt like the Magnificent 7. It was amazing. And then we got Taika at the very end again. Yeah. So it was just if they keep doing the same format of director gets 2 episodes or 1 episode, I would love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. Each episode, it follows along the storyline.
Yes.
But they're all fun in their own unique way.
Yes.
And different plots, some of them are, a little bit funnier than the others.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the Easter eggs and stuff like that. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then one thing I will say too is the way they were shot were very different from one another. The one with Rick Famuyiwa, he did a lot of the same feeling of scenes. You know, he did the prisoner, so like that was so cool and different than every other episode, you know.
Yeah.
And like he had the one with Baby Yoda lifting up the Mudhorn, also very different, you know. Like you could tell that each artist had their own interpretation of certain things, and the other artists, you know, could play with, you know, the material as well. Like Deborah Chow had I think at its time probably the best Mandalorian episode with Chapter 3. Chapter 3 was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it really was
the
so
ending
amazing.
of it was awesome.
God, it was
when
so
the whole,
good.
When the whole
good.
clan
That
comes
entire-
out, this is the way.
Yeah, this is the way.
That's when we got the this is the way, you know.
We haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah,
This is the
we
way. It's
haven't.
amazing.
Just that whole motto, you know, of, you know,
It's like,
it doesn't matter
how-
what one individual does. Like, we have to follow this, you know, creed and
Yes.
everything that,
God,
you
my
know.
good.
Oh,
Killer.
it's so good.
Well, it was
man.
so
Killer.
cool. Like that moment was so powerful too, coming from because those two characters who were like at each other's throats at the beginning of the episode.
Yep.
And just like that, and also that was apparently a descendant of Pre Vizsla. I forget
Vizsla,
exactly
yeah,
what they
some
said his
Clan
name
Vizsla.
was. It was some Vizsla. He was of Clan
Not
Vizsla.
Tar Vizsla.
No, Tar
Something
Vizsla was
Vizsla.
the old one, but it's something Vizsla. But that was, yeah. How crazy is it that we got two, like, fan favorite quotable lines all time in this thing?
I know.
We got, I have
is the way.
spoken and this is the way. Like,
Yeah,
those were in like
love
the
it.
first, those were in the first 3 freaking episodes. Like,
yeah.
nothing, like, I mean, there's not even, I love the sequel trilogy. I love all the films that have come out so far, but there's nothing as like almost like instantly quotable as those
Yeah.
things where you could get a
is the
reaction
way.
out of just about anybody. This is the way. I have spoken. And you know what? Guess what? I said that. I have spoken.
Yep. Yeah. It's so well done, and like even my mom, who's not a big Star Wars fan, loved the "I have spoken." It's just like it's a great
That's
way
a
to
great-
finalize. It's just like a finalizer. You're done. I've done
Yeah.
it. I spoke.
This whole series is just going to bring so much greatness to the Star Wars universe.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, because I can only imagine what they have planned for next season. You know, I
Jesus.
mean, if this season was this good,
I know.
you know, it's got to at least be better. I mean,
Yeah.
it can only get better.
Yeah, you're right.
That maquette of the Calvin Klein Gamorrean Guard model,
Yes.
like, I mean, come on, man. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I like, it's funny just because like that's Favreau knows how to take what you know and twist it slightly to like let's twist this around to this direction you've never seen it from before. Like it's like you like the Gamorrean guards? Let's take all their clothes off and just leave their fur underwear on. What do you think of them now? Like look at them,
well,
you know, and just
that
like
one's
twisting
much
them
larger.
around.
Yeah, it's a much larger
Yeah.
one too. So like, you know, that's where it's so cool is because not all Gamorrean guards are going to look like the one on Jabba's palace. You know, they're going to
Right,
have
those
some
are
Right,
spoiled.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
you get to eat and drink
Yeah,
and
yeah. Those
are the-
hang out. You know,
They're eating the leftover frogs
Yes,
from the
yes.
pods.
you know, they don't really
they're
do a
like-
whole lot. So imagine like a one out in the wild, untamed. You know,
Yeah.
just ready to battle.
Yeah, it's
It really seemed like the crowd control in Jabba's palace was just dropping people in a hole. So I think they didn't really have a lot to do. So
you bring up a good point, and it's so funny. This show did not do anything. It was campy. It had some silly moments, but like it didn't do anything where like I rolled my eyes at all.
Yeah, no.
No, there was not a single moment where I was like, "Oh, come on!" Like even I love the Rise of Skywalker, but Chewie getting the medal, I was even like, "Yeah, that's a little like that's like a little like okay." You know what I mean? Like I loved it, but it was still enough for you
Yeah.
to be like, "All right, that's a little too much." But you know, this show is just so
yeah, you got to be careful.
yeah, it is. This show took a lot of things and turned it, and like you said, you know, you get, you know, Mandalorians, but you don't get quite like you thought you would. You know, this is the way, and you get the Beskar, and you get the bounty hunters being a complicated job, and you know, these Imperials are all torn and tattered. We're not used to seeing that either, and it's just like it really kind of humanizes and really kind of puts this show into a bunch of different perspectives. So I really must applaud that show for doing such a cool thing, you know? And to get people that are normies to watch it, you know? It
Yeah.
sounds mean, but like, I mean, this would not normally be watched by people.
No.
Like it,
I can't tell you how many people that I work with just come up to me like, "Hey, are you watching The Mandalorian and
Yes.
stuff?" Because they know I'm into Star Wars, and like it is touching so many other demographics than just all of us nerds, and so it's doing what Star Wars has always done. It reaches everybody.
Yes, it does, and it doesn't. You don't have to. The best thing is you don't really have to know where you're at in the story to start watching it. It's good to know that it's the fall of the Empire, but that's the only thing you need to know.
Right, you can literally jump into it. I mean, if you watched, just the first 3 movies, the original trilogy, and you start watching Mandalorian, I mean, you'll know what's going on for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Well, and the best part of now that Rise of Skywalker is out, now we can watch things with our casual fan families, and not have them ask. So is she Rey's mother?
Yeah.
Is that Rey's mother? Huge thing. That question is thankfully dead. So, sorry.
No, there's a lot of things this show has done and probably will continue to do for the fandom, and like you said, Jerry, you mentioned earlier, it kind of united the fandom too in its own weird way. I mean, not necessarily the sequel trilogy, the hated trilogy, but a lot of people have some animosity towards it for some odd reason, and I respect that some people do. And this show is like the TV-14 Star Wars we always needed, and it was the adult Star Wars we always kind of needed, and it was enough for it to be different and unique without being a completely different thing, and not feeling forced.
Right. Well, and it's a pun intended, I'm sure, right?
Yes, totally.
Forced. Okay. Yes.
1,000%.
Ooh, I caught that
Dad
one.
jokes.
Good Easter egg.
No, but to still have the Star Wars fun though, and like it still feels like that's what I love about it. Is it's not like so dark that it's like I watched the first episode. I was like, okay, my kid can be in the room sometimes when I'm watching this. And stuff, like it's not so off the wall. And that's what I love about that, because I think at its core, like, we should have some stuff that's darker for older people. But like at its core, again, these are morality tales. This is what we want to live up to. It's teaching us that you still have a choice and stuff. And I'm getting philosophical, but
you can
how about
get there.
that? Like, well, I just wanted to make a point. What you were saying Scott, about it kind of uniting the fandom a little bit. Because I think in our Twitter sphere and, like our little like kind of bubble we get into, we can start to feel like, well, if you didn't like Last Jedi, or if you like Rise of Skywalker, or if you like this or that, if you're not a true fan if you like X, Y, or Z, or if you don't like X, Y, or Z. And it's not everyone who hasn't been happy with these movies is, I'm sorry guys, it's not everyone who didn't like this stuff isn't a sexist, racist, bigot person. I have all my buddies I used to talk Star Wars stuff with down south, best guys you'll ever meet. I love all these people, like even like everyone I used to talk Star Wars with down south, all good people. My buddy again who contacted me after Mandalorian came out, so excited, loves Star Wars, hasn't been happy with what they've been doing in the movies, but is absolutely in love with this show, and we can finally connect again on it. And that's a beautiful thing.
That is. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, I've found myself, not doubting any of the stuff they've recently done with anything. I love all the sequel trilogy and all the shows, but like to have a show now that like I can watch with your dad, Troy. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing. Because, like, we're a big Star Wars family. We are. We went and saw The Rise of Skywalker last weekend together. But, like,
that's awesome.
That's the extent of it. That's it. Once a year, that's it. One and done.
Yeah.
But to have, like, to go and see his uncle yesterday and to talk about The Mandalorian, it's like, damn, like, that's really cool. Like, we haven't had a show that people had to keep up with yet and care about enough to want to watch the next episode.
Right.
And, like, I hope this is what they stick to. I really do. I hope they stick to kind of a gritty, look. They'll still have Resistance.
Oh, yeah.
They'll still have other shows for the kids to enjoy. And they might even have a kids show. Like they have the Ahmed Best show coming out.
Jedi Temple or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
something,
that.
Yeah,
game
show.
They're gonna have that for kids.
It's gonna be pretty interesting.
It's gonna be cool, and it's like they finally found their niche. I think they're gonna. I think hopefully the data looks good enough for them to keep doing shows like this.
Yeah.
And even if they're not, they're still in the works or whatever the deal is. I don't know. To kind of get into where this first season ends, I think it's probably one of the most tasteful cliffhangers because it's not enough for me to like get upset that it ended this way, but it was enough for me to be like, wow, he was given a task by the armorer. You know, he said, you need to go find this creature's people. It's like, oh, we could really see some more Yodas, and I think that may be the case.
That could be crazy.
You know what's so funny about all of that is I was so against that. Like whenever they first started, when Disney first bought it, they were like talking about doing a Yoda movie, and I was like, no, you cannot do it. Yoda needs to be a secret. He needs to be like a mystery, and I'm so behind all this. And like they said that, and I was like, yes, go there now. I want to know.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they've did it. What's up?
What if in 2 months, Clone Wars, the new season is going to come out, and what if they venture off into showing you, Yoda goes back to Kamino, and kind of sets up that whole story plot.
Yeah, it could be the case.
Oh, Troy, don't you blow my mind, man, right now.
How crazy would that be?
I mean,
because Filoni, he loves tying stuff in.
Yes.
And, we get this whole new season coming out, and everybody's going to be asking, where did Baby Yoda come from?
Yes.
This would be the perfect opportunity to tie something like that in.
Yeah, well, Pershing, Dr. Pershing from the first couple episodes, who we still don't know if that dude was legit, like trying to help.
Yeah,
I was surprised. Like, got to the end of this episode, I was like, wait, we never saw that dude again. Like, what?
No.
He had the Kamino cloning patch, on his Imperial Scientist outfit, and so, you might not be far off, man. I mean, like, again. If it's done right, man, you can make anything work in Star Wars.
Yeah, no, and they also end off, they never mention why they needed the child to begin with. So it's like, it could be for Palpatine and the unknown regions to keep staying alive. It's a lot of things. It's like,
Man.
Especially what Troy said with the new season of Clone Wars, it's like, I know Sam Witwer has been on the record saying it's going to do something insane, like things you will not expect. And that gets me so excited because he's a huge Star Wars fan, and I can't imagine where they would take this.
Imagine if they ended up showing Mando.
They could show him as a kid. Oh my god!
Go back to some of the Mandalorian story stuff, and
maybe they show him. Yeah.
And it's not like a whole episode dedicated, but maybe they go back to the Mandalorians for a minute, and then you see, him walking, or just something crazy.
Or they say it's like his parents. They need to get something from them, and you don't know who they are, and then they go, "This is our son, Din Djarin," or oh my gosh,
and then
just like a name
mind
drop
exploded.
I know,
right?
That's the thing, and like the cliffhanger ending in particular, It left off with such a good moment of like, here's this huge tease for what's to come. Moff Gideon's going to be the main bad guy.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be after Baby Yoda, or he's going to be after whatever the Mando he killed his whole fleet of people.
He's going to be mad next time we see him.
I'm sorry, I just had like an epiphany. What if Gideon is in the final season of Clone Wars at the season?
That could be the case. God,
could be.
This dude obviously is tied in. Maybe he worked with the Republic, at first.
We see how he gets a hold of the Darksaber.
Yep.
They tie that in. I mean, there's 1,000 things that could happen, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, this is really going to be an interesting turn of events because that's the next new thing to look forward to, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited.
Honestly, I can't wait.
Yeah, February is going to come real quick before we know it.
I know.
6 weeks.
I've been actually rewatching some of it.
Yeah,
short.
I need to.
Bits by bits, but episode by episode. But I've been trying to prepare and get ready.
Yeah, and to have this show end with the Darksaber is so. Like we were saying earlier, it's so much payoff from watching and reading and doing everything else.
It is.
And being involved in the community and watching Star Wars Explained videos and watching Easter egg videos and what happened in the new book. All these things, like, as much as it almost feels like, this is a waste of time or this is too much time, I've spent too much time doing this, that one Darksaber sequence is like, tied the perfect bow. It just was
great.
like you see it pop up.
You see it pop out the tie, and I was like, "That's not what I think." It
No,
is,
there's no way. There's no way.
That's not what I think it is it? And then
I was like, he can't have a lightsaber. No,
and
there's
then I
no
was
way.
like, "Wait, it is what I think it is."
God.
Oh my god!
But you got to think. The first episode where Jon Favreau did the voice of Pre Vizsla, the Darksaber was the point, so he knows that lore.
Yeah, he does.
He read the lines for that lore. I think that's the thing people often forget, and no one's. The best part is no one's complaining about it. You know, like you could complain about the silliest stuff in Star Wars, but not a single person was like, "I can't believe they put the Darksaber in there." No,
No, everyone was freaking losing their minds, and admit it. All you guys were loving it. So.
It was great, and I think this next season, and hopefully we're in celebration, and I know we're going to get another trailer. It's going to be in August of 2020, so it's going to be when the next trailer drops. I think when it comes to celebration stuff, I think we're going to get, of course, a new trailer, some new posters, some new images, but like there's so much to be desired after that season, and at no point did I feel that this cliffhanger was too heavy.
No.
It was just right.
It was
just right.
Just enough to make you keep wanting to go. Yeah, it was a perfect kind of cliffhanger season.
Yeah. And I real quick before we kind of wrap up a lot of what we may see next season. I think Boba Fett, like we said earlier, is a pretty big candidate. If that is indeed the case, him at the end, be amazing.
That would be crazy.
We know we're going to get more Darksaber. We're probably going to get a couple of new Yoda people, I hope, if that's where it builds up to. Or more Force sensitive people.
Maybe
You're right.
some hidden Jedi that are out there that we just don't even know about.
Yeah.
That could happen.
God, or maybe one of the bounties might be a Jedi. Because apparently he's still a part of the guild, and that was mentioned.
Yeah.
He was like, you come back anytime, I'll give you a bounty puck. So we might end up getting the child, and I don't know what they're going to do. That's the big debate now that I think about it, is are they going to continue having Baby Yoda as a character? Is he going to get a little Mando suit? Is it going to be like a thing? You know what I mean? You got to think about
Are they
that.
gonna and can they make a
That'd be
Baby
amazing.
Yoda Mandalorian Beskar armor suit work and it just not be like what is going on here? Like, oh man, that's so good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I trust them now with anything, man. They can make Mando get like a job as a clown at a birthday party for an episode, and I'd be totally down.
Oh yeah,
yeah, totally. And I think if they gave him
Like,
a
all right, where are they
Mando suit, how marketable would that be? I would buy that in a heartbeat.
That would be a Build-A-Bear.
Dude, with like little
dude.
Boba Fett Yoda ears coming
Yes,
out.
yes.
Yep.
Like it could be done. I don't know.
Those
But,
little fuzzy. That's the thing. When Ella ever watches the live action Baby Yoda with me, she loves that he's got a fuzzy head. She goes, he's got fuzzy ears and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
he does.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that kid's cute. So
Jerry, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have some predictions from some of our listeners in regards to what we might see in season 2. So if you don't mind reading that for me, please.
yes, we do. Yes, we put out the call to you guys. We've kind of been doing our Bombad build up. We've really just been really hammer focusing on deep diving on those things and going at it. But we are back to form, guys. We are finally back to some audience participation, and man, you guys didn't disappoint here. We've got a couple of our I would say, I don't want to say top fans, but we got a couple of guys here who are great supporters of the Bombadcast. We have first, of course, a Bombadcast classic listener, Mr. Rural Farm Boy, our buddy Anthony, and he said, I predict. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna read this because it's in Rural Farm Boy Appalachian. And so here we go. I'm a little. My Appalachian's a little rusty. So I predict at LFL Lucasfilm Limited. Lucasfilm Limited. Oh man, you put like. Okay, all right. Here we go. I predict that LFL will put out season 2 of the second week in November, like they done for season 1. Sorry, boys. That's all I got. Maybe yous know I don't make nor do story predictions. And, sir, we sure do, but you didn't disappoint, and we love when you chime in, even if you're like, I don't really know what to say, but I love you guys. So
one thing I will say is, I love Rural Farmer, you're one of the greatest. One thing I will say is, I think it's interesting because in regards to what they did this season, I think they wanted to get it out there as fast as they could, and they did. And hopefully, this might be my only complaint of this, that the episodes are each about 50 minutes. Like that season finale was so nice because it was 50 straight minutes of just pure Star Wars. You know what I mean? So maybe we'll get that again, and maybe they'll take in some sort of fan, input and they usually do. They usually do that really well, is take in the fan input and make,
Right. What we've got to realize too is this was the trial run. Before Disney bought Star Wars, we had never had a movie that wasn't a part of the Skywalker saga. And so remember, Rogue One came out, we were all sweating and nervous in our seats, like sweating through the seats of our pants, because like is this going to be good? Is it going to work? What's going to happen? And that's a fan favorite movie of people who don't even like the sequel trilogy. And so you've got, dude. They're for sure gonna this is like them taking in data, and my goodness, they didn't just like get good data on this. They rocked our freaking socks off, and so I don't know. Did. I think they're gonna just season 2 is gonna be bonkers, man. I mean there's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. That's a common theme for a lot of shows, though. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, most of these hit shows, I just to put it out there, like Walking Dead, their first season was only 6 episodes.
That's
and then
true.
Breaking Bad was only 5 episodes. I think they were 8 episodes. The first seasons to most of these, really big shows, they're only a few episodes, but then they progressively get bigger, and then they double the amount, and then, 30-minute episodes don't seem too bad when there's 16 of them to watch.
Exactly. That's a big thing, because we don't know what the runtime will look like for the next. They have no idea predictions on how many there will be, how many directors going to be. Nothing of that's came out yet, and I think that's the best part about Celebration, is that's usually when all those things really do drop, and you can kind of mentally prepare yourself for what we're going to get.
Do you think we're going to get the first episode of season 2 dropped, or maybe the first couple episodes of season 2 at Celebration?
Nah, probably going to get the first 5 minutes, if anything. Just enough
first 5, okay.
Just to get a taste of what we could see.
Do you want to make a Resistance broadcast style bet? Because I think we're both going to try to be at Celebration this year. Yeah. So let's see what we can do. Maybe we can end up doing something. Okay. So if they show an entire episode, I win. If they show 5 minutes or a clip or something like that.
Less than 15 minutes. That's my bet. Less than 15 minutes.
Less than 15. Okay, that's okay. That's a solid hedge. A solid hedge there, sir. So what do we want? Okay, what do we want the stakes? What do we want the stakes to be? I don't want to the Resistance broadcast is quite partial to pie, but I don't want to do pie. Maybe we should put it out to the people and stuff. And please, no monetary bets, because we need to stay friends here at the Bombadcast. So.
No, I think maybe something that's a tad bit outrageous. You might have to wear a shirt at Celebration that is just not. I don't know. I don't even know what it would be. I don't know. We'll think about it. Yeah, listeners, if you have any suggestions, please send it your way, because that would be interesting. Do you have any idea?
Make it personal to me and Scotty. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe you could shave my beard, but I don't know if I want to do that. So
I wouldn't even know what to shave. To shave my head,
that would get messy. There's nothing underneath it. It's kind of like just space time underneath this thing. So
it's just a void.
We would all fall into the black hole that is my face. So.
No, that's an interesting. I wonder what it's gonna be, and that's the thing. This show has done so well is the pacing of it hasn't felt off, and I think that November release date was not a Bob Iger thing. I think it was just a goal. We need to have this drop this day for it. And of course, I think the weirdest thing about this show is the synergy idea. The corporate idea of we're gonna have this one thing release and then we're gonna see it again. It's like the force healing thing. That's what I'm talking about. That was crazy.
Right.
We got that in Mando before we got that in the movie, and that the Mando might have been in production before the movie, and the fact that they kind of, I don't know how that was planned, but that was genius. That was genius.
It was timed perfect. I will say this, guys, prepare yourselves for and this is going to sound like I'm making it a bad thing, but I think it's what's going to happen and what needs to happen. Prepare for the marvelization of Star Wars now that the Skywalker saga is done. And
Yes.
I don't mean like we're going to connect and all that. It's going to be what I mean is just I think you're right. I think it's going to be more like this show is going to bring forth this idea, and then immediately
Yep.
this other medium, a movie or something, is going to deal with. It's going to be a big part of it, and so that 100% I think is where our future is heading, and I think it's bright. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, I am too.
They could go to crazy places.
I mean, what if they did some kind of time jump? I mean, and it's been a few years, and now Baby Yoda's now like a teen Yoda.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's like
now.
Guardians of the Galaxy with teen Yoda and stuff,
Yeah.
like Yoda playing a video game and like
Right. Just like crazy. I mean, I don't foresee them doing that, but
Never know.
I mean, you never know,
No.
honestly.
That's the thing. Like
it's like
they have never mentioned a single thing. I know they started filming and that's it. I just wonder what planets we might go to, and the planets we went to already was really interesting.
They were really interesting.
Yeah, like the lava kind of part of that first planet we ever saw. I didn't expect that,
Yeah.
And like Tatooine was very interesting, and I don't know. I really did think this show did a lot for the setting of Star Wars and what you can do with the Star Wars show, which I think is probably the most important part of this entire series now at this point. Is like it did so much new things for Star Wars that didn't include the same normal tropes, and I think that's the hardest thing that Disney's going to ever overcome. And when they do, it's going to be incredible. How do we make Star Wars without a TIE fighter?
I saw a TIE fighter land like I've never seen before.
Yes,
in this
yeah. It's refreshing. It's new.
Like just
I was like, oh, that's what they do when they don't have a ladder, so you don't have to just like freaking jump 10 feet.
Yeah.
It was so cool that they thought of that. It's just, I don't know, it makes it. I loved that. But,
how do you do Star Wars differently?
Like different. How do you do it different? How do you do? That's an interesting thought that you just came up with, though. Like, how do you do it without a TIE fighter? How do you do it without?
I loved all the stuff they brought into this just show. I mean, like you were me and you were talking earlier before, and the scene where Baby Yoda pauses the flamethrower, and that it's a flame trooper that comes in there, and the flame trooper is from the video game The Force Unleashed. Like I didn't even make that connection, but I played both those games, and that was so cool to actually see. And it's like they're pulling in from everywhere to bring the story together, and it's crazy because it's just so good.
The EU's not off limits.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. The EU is not off limits.
It's not.
And they've said that the whole time. It's funny. It's just that they've taken their baby steps into it, which you can argue with either way if you think they should have or not. But I think that this is the time. This is the time to like start bringing this in, and it feels so good. I agree. There's so many cool things they pulled into this. We do have one more listener prediction if you guys are ready. We have.
Yes, I'm definitely ready.
From our prolific listener, Mr. Devor Mondum, PhD. And he says, let's see, Devor, Devor chimed in on sent us one of our voicemails for the Rise of Skywalker review. So thank you for that, Mr. Devor, sir. Dr. Devor, sir. Of course, PhD. But Devor says, going off IG-11 saying that his commission was specific about wanting Baby Yoda dead, I think we might learn that someone else is after him too.
Oh, wow.
So someone besides Gideon. That's something that was a big plot point of the first episode that I was kind of wondering if they were going to. And, they kind of, in episode 3, you've got Grief saying, oh, well, everybody had a fob and, all this stuff. But it was, like you remember, like the client, Werner, he said he wanted him alive, but he would pay for him. There's a price for him dead, too, just to hedge his bets and stuff, because you had that big thing of Pershing making it. Anyway, that was some big thing that I was kind of wondering about, too. So what do you guys think? You think we might have someone else after the child, the asset, whatever you want to call him?
I don't even know, because Gideon didn't seem like he was... We knew he was going to be the client after everything once the episode ended, So episode 7, you're like, oh, he was the one that wanted it the whole time. But, like, I wanted to know... I wish we would have actually known more about Werner Herzog's character too, because he had like this weird Imperial signal on, and he was so like different and like the way he spoke.
Was mysterious.
He was so mysterious. Then he just get killed off. You know, it's
and they can tell. They can, we can do flashbacks now in Star Wars apparently,
Yes,
and all this stuff. And so, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the next season, kind of uncovering who these guys are and stuff.
Yes,
I don't know. It is interesting because it was so like very here we're gonna dangle Werner in front of you, and then like
take him away,
just rip him away. So I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be. I don't know. Dr. DeVore. I think there has to be, I don't know. I don't want to say there has to be something, but it feels like there's more to the story, obviously, than we know right now. So
definitely. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm so in love with the show, and I'm so glad everyone came to listen to this. And Troy, I'm so glad you were here for this too. This was such a cool episode, and DeVore, thank you so much for your input, because this show is gonna be the backbone of lore for a while.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like this is going to take the place of the saga films, and like it's crazy that this Star Wars high is not over. It's kind of being subdued for a little bit, but like for a while, from November to just about this week, it's been like one after another exhaustion. We've been watching the Bombad build up. It's just like it's been crazy for content.
It's like being force fed with a fire hose. Like it's been so crazy, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, and it's very lucky to have been through what we've been through. I would say this is like the golden era of Star Wars. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I would agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
It was awesome. There's never, I don't know. It's going to be hard for there to be another build up to like, this has been the best build up to a movie that I've seen since, and just this last like November through Rise of Skywalker and everything. I haven't been that excited for a movie since like the prequels and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, or The Force Awakens. The excitement was at a fever pitch, like it was when Star Wars was coming back. Mm-hmm. And just they did really good this year of just divvying it out and just really, I don't know. Yeah. Man, they made somehow those sons of guns did it. They made the magic last for like 2 whole months.
They did.
They caught lightning in a bottle with this series, and
I just love it because they keep introducing new people, new characters, new storylines.
Yes.
I mean, every character has a story in Star Wars. So I mean, even in season 2, we're going to get a bunch of new characters that we've never seen before. It could be our new favorite Star Wars character for all we know.
You're right. Baby Yoda is a lot of people's new favorite Star Wars character. It's crazy.
So I guarantee you, everybody who watched season 1 is going to watch season 2 to see what happens.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, man.
That's huge, Troy. That's a good point.
We're only going to have like more and more crazy background weirdos come into this show too. So, Scotty, we're just going to have like... We're going to have a spoil of riches with the Mandalorian and stuff. So, no, you're absolutely right, Troy. And that's when it is the cool thing about Star Wars is that you can look in the background and go like, I know that dude's name that's like sitting at that table in the back behind Han Solo for no reason except for that. It's cool that I think that I know that, And so that's one of the fun things. And to have a show that is essentially built around what are the stories of these people who are in the backgrounds of these epic stories going on. And this is such a great show. It's amazing. It's like it's tailor-made for the Bombadcast and all of us here. It's tailor-made for Star Wars fans, dude.
It is. It's one of the few things I will say that like it feels more like it's made for us, but people like, people and us, the non-crazy fans will still watch it and dig it, And with that being said, there's a lot that can be, discussed in regards to this show, and I think this series is going to be one of those things that people look back on and say, "Wow, that they can't believe they started with this." Yeah. And like you said, there's a lot of characters in this show that are going to be the ones that we look back on with absolute fondness, and you're like, "Man, this feels like so long ago," but we were all going through it at the same exact time. It's just also that's been a cool thing is the Twitter response. Like, I love Stranger Things, but the second that show drops, and I've said this in the podcast several times, it's hyped for 2 weeks. Then it's dead.
And I
still haven't seen it. No one spoiled it for me. It's been since July.
Right.
It's been well overdue. And no one said a thing. No one said it told me or mentioned a spoiler because it's not relevant anymore. At all.
Right.
Nope.
You really dodged. I mean, you didn't have to dodge for very long, a couple weeks, but that's
No,
amazing
2
to me that you
weeks.
still have not seen that.
Heard or seen
It
anything.
It really does, because that's so cool that Disney had the foresight to go. Because at first I was like, no, just drop it all at once because I'm a greedy,
Nope.
we want it all now
Yeah.
because we're so used to streaming being that like instant gratification. You can just keep going. But how good of them to think like, no, let's bring back the weekly conversation. Because that was one of the best things when I was watching Lost back in the day.
Yeah.
Like I had so much fun, like talking with my people, like, did you see this week? Did you see what happened?
Yeah.
Or like even Walking Dead when I fallen off of Walking Dead recently, but like you could go to other people and be like, oh my gosh, did you see what happened? Can you believe this? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And
It was those
it's
weekly
back.
discussions. Like
Yeah.
you'd have them at
Dude,
work.
it's
You
back.
would have them between
Where do you
friends,
think-
Like that
Right.
was the biggest thing was like I remember The Walking Dead, like it was Sunday night, me and my boys, we'd all get together. I mean, I'd have people come
Yes.
over to the house and we'd order
Yep.
food and we'd sit down and we'd watch the show for an hour.
Yep.
And
It's
you
the
know,
return to
nowadays
the
with-
return. Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like they want to drop everything all at once. I'm glad they did this
Right.
because,
Dude.
just like you, Jerry. I mean, I go to work and we have like a 10-minute discussion of what happened on the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we watched it on Friday or we watched it on Saturday, whatever. But Monday we get together and we all talk about it. We're like, dude, did you see that? Did you see that? And I love it.
Right.
The Game of Thrones. Every week that last season of Game of Thrones trended. Top
Yeah.
trending thing was that.
Oh yeah.
And like
Right.
the Baby Yoda thing is one of those moments that I think will be a part of Star Wars culture and pop culture forever.
Forever.
The last year of 2019, like the year of the final year of this decade, it's somehow Star Wars came back halfway through it, but then it really came back with Baby Yoda. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like I think the impact of Baby Yoda, even though it might sound super silly to say that, I think it's one of those things that's like as important as Star Wars was in '77. Like it people that normally would never talk about Star Wars came up to me and was like, "What's this Baby Yoda thing about?" It's just like I don't know. It's amazing.
Right. I don't know. It's crazy that there's something that is as iconic as like C-3PO and R2-D2 and stuff now. Like anyway, we've talked so much about Baby Yoda, and it's very well deserved because Baby Yoda, I mean,
Yes.
have you seen it? It's got fuzzy ears. I mean, come on, people.
Well,
Just want to give it a nice little scratch.
Thank you everyone for joining us on this episode. We have a bunch of things to update you on real quick, and thank you again, Troy, for being the guest in this in particular.
problem.
This was awesome.
I love it. I
Troy,
love this show. I
man.
love talking about it. It's one of my favorite things to do is just sit here and talk about, especially the Mandalorian. I mean, just gosh, how badass is
So
that dude?
good.
Yeah, the character
good.
itself is amazing.
You walk into a room and you're like, I want to be that guy.
yeah, more than
Right,
Han
right.
Solo. But
No, yeah, Troy, we need to get you back on here way sooner than we have this time. So like,
Yes.
thank you again for coming on, dude.
well,
Of course. I'm happy to be here.
yeah, it's always a fun episode when T's on. But we're gonna move on real quick. We're gonna update everyone real quick. We at the Bombadcast are going to take a brief 3-week hiatus. We need the rest. We've got a lot of things in the works right now. And we want you to know that I know the content's not going to be coming out as frequently as it has been, but we're starting a new thing in regards to when we return. And Jerry is super pumped about it. This is actually Jerry's idea. Jerry, tell the people how they can live their weekends now.
Well, guys, we're fairly new to this whole podcasting thing, and so we need to take a breather because we are but humans. I know we sound like sultry, angelic, voices coming from the heavens, but no,
you an
we are
angel?
but mere mortals. We are, yes. Are you? I hear we don't live on the moons of Viego. We actually live in respectively Louisiana and Michigan. But
Yes.
guys, hey, we appreciate. Give us this little. We're going to take a little bit of a holiday break. But when we come back, we are coming back with a bang. We are going to be dropping new episodes of the Bombadcast on Fridays now. That's right. You heard me correct. You can now start your weekend with the Bombadcast. So, I don't know, maybe we'll even get a little hashtag like hashtag Bombad Weekend going on,
Yep.
But yeah, guys, so our next episode will be January 24th. And me and Scotty, we're really excited. We're like rethinking our format. We're like talking about like the guests and different things we want to do next year. We have we just have so many exciting ideas. We're excited exciting ideas that we're excited to let you guys in on in the coming year. So just thank you.
It's weird.
Thank you for listening too. And none of this is possible without all of you guys who are somehow listening to this right now. I don't really understand why, but we don't understand why you want to, but we're so glad that you do, because we're just doing something that we love. Like Troy was saying, we're talking about Star Wars, and that you guys are listening is amazing, and thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's weird. We've been going for 30 weeks now. I did a calculation, 30 weeks straight.
That's awesome.
So like it's crazy to think how much stuff we've turned out and the episodes that we've done, and like a lot of you have been there every step, and people that are just joining us, it's only going to get better from here. So this 3-week hiatus is going to be when we plan, when we conduct. We might even have, a discussion on what we're going to end up doing coming our 1-year anniversary and what we do for celebration. So there's a lot of things that are going to be had. We're currently getting the website all fixed up and ready for everyone to be able to access. I'm working on some new designs for the shirts, so we hopefully have some more shirts out by the time we re-jump it. We're looking at new formats, new music. There's a lot of new things to come, and we're super, super pumped to get it out there, because this content creating has been so much fun, but we need to take a step back, assess our data, see what y'all like, see what we like to do, and we're trying to stick it to an interesting format where we have a fun episode, a series episode, then a guest episode. We just want to kind of do a thing now with the Bombadcast, now that we've got a great following and a great group of people that listen and join us every week. So this new Bombad on the Weekend thing is going to be huge, and we're going to have contests coming very soon about it, and it's just like, I don't know, we want to get the best for you, and we're trying to get at least 2 to 3 videos out, maybe a live stream every 2 weeks. So we're really kind of, putting the pedal on it. We just need some time to kind of take a breather and figure out what we're doing exactly, and scheduling and getting special guests on, because trust me, I love having Troy and Eric on, and Pete Futzer on, and John Hoey on. We've got some great people, a Galactic Podcast, Force Toast, Alex Damon, but we're going to reach out to even the people like, dare I say, like, I want to get Ahmed Best on for a 1-year anniversary. Like, seriously.
We got to at least go see that guy at Celebration.
Yes.
He's got to be at Anaheim. I mean, he's got to be, right? Like,
I want to see if we can reach out to other people and see if they want to guest, and we're going to try to do as many collabs as possible as well. So there's a lot of brightness in the future of Star Wars and the future of Bombadcast. So it's going to be some awesome content coming your way, and Jerry and I have just been really trying to figure out what we can do best for y'all and for us too. So this 3-week break is going to be nice for us, and hopefully y'all will take a refresher, and we'll be kicking back in with Clone Wars, in February too. So January 24th is going to be a special date. We don't know the episode. We don't know what we're going to do for that episode returning, but we might end up addressing the fandom a month after the Rise of Skywalker release. So we'll see. Looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome, man. 2020 is going to be a wild year.
Dude, 2020 will be the year of the Bombadcast. It will be Bombad 2020, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No, we got.
Sorry, I was just going to say. When you guys return, you might even get the information of what's going to be the next Star Wars movie.
You're right.
Oh,
so we could. That would be a great return episode. I didn't even think about that.
That's going to be dropping in January. So who's directing it?
Depending on when it drops. Depending on when it drops, we might even have to do like an emergency, something broadcast or something. If it's like next week or like tomorrow, we're going to have to okay. All right, hold on, we got to pull out the podcast mics.
Stuff.
Yeah, right. There you go. Let's put the last thoughts and prayers into the universe, the guys, for whatever you want. But man, a lot of cool stuff we have in the works, guys. We're so excited for 2020, and hopefully a lot more audience participation as well,
Yes.
and kind of working with you guys. You guys, again, we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for you guys. And so again,
Yes,
we thank you
definitely.
guys from the bottom of our hearts, because me and Scotty just love Star Wars. We just started this just because we wanted to. We had no idea that we were going to be starting to like have like viral videos and different things like that. But seriously, thank you all.
And thank you for listening to Jerry's ASMR video. Did you watch that one yet?
I have not.
Dude,
Oh my
get on
gosh.
YouTube tonight. It's hilarious.
Yes.
No, I almost want to look right now, but Jerry put an ASMR video that he didn't even tell me about it. He just dropped it on YouTube.
It was on my old Canon Junkie YouTube page, and it had exactly 100 views, I think, at the time that I dropped it on.
I'm gonna look at it real quick. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's got somewhere in the 800s. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. Let's see. There's an ad. Over almost 900 views, and it's such a silly video. Wow. So you're gonna get some more clever content from us too.
Dude, a lot of you guys really like, I guess, watching me be a complete idiot. So, that's fine. We seriously, we want to start doing more content like that kind of stuff too, guys. So I'm so excited for what we got for you guys. So just, again, stay tuned, man. 3-week hiatus. It's going to be, I know it's going to be rough, but hang in there, baby birds. Hang in there. We'll be back. We'll be back to keep you warm and feed you the next Fridays, Bombad Fridays, man. Oh, I'm so excited.
Bombad Friday, rolling in the weekend.
I like that. Hashtag it. Make it trend.
Bombad Friday. Yo, we're gonna do it.
Make it trend, guys. Hashtag Bombad Fridays coming in January 24th.
It's going to be awesome, and look out for everything we got in the making. Jerry's going to keep the Twitter all up to date, and join our Facebook group. Make sure you buy our shit from TeePublic. It's just, this is going to be awesome.
And you can find all those links at our handy dandy website as well,
yes,
which I just posted the link to on the Bombadcast Twitter page this weekend. So
it's Jerry has been working on that recently too. It's very exciting. No, but anyway, y'all, this has been a great episode, and 2019 has been a great year, but 2020 is going to be even better. So, Jerry, Troy, real quick. We got to plug Troy's stuff. Troy, where can the wonderful people find you, and what do you do? What is your content you create?
So if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at ElderPug27, and you'll see the beautiful 8-bit pug as my logo on there. And if you check out my page, you'll probably notice there's quite a bit of Pokemon content, because I am actually a Pokemon content creator on twitch.tv/ElderPug27, where I am an affiliate there. And my actual goal in 2020 is to start streaming way more than I did in 2019. Mm-hmm. So if you go over there, make an account, drop a follow on my channel. It's totally free, by the way.
Yep.
And you'll get notifications when I go live. I'm going to have a whole schedule built out where I'm going to try to stream for, it may not be, no 8 hours, but it's going to be, 1-2 hours, 2 to 3 hours here and there. Mm-hmm. So, you can follow me there. And you can follow me on Instagram, too, if you want to. Just at ElderPug. And I post a lot of my Pokemon Go stuff that I play on my phone there. So
you'll see me and Troy's chat all the time when he gets on Twitch, because I don't know, it's fun to watch him play because we're practically next door neighbors. So here I am doing the pod, and he'll listen to the pod, and then here I am watching him stream, and he's just literally 2 streets down from me. So it's
like talking on
awesome.
the phone,
So,
basically, right? It's like
it's pretty much we chat.
It is.
We were chatting about everything Star Wars related last time. Whenever you streamed in November, I think we were texting back and forth about Star Wars stuff at the live stream. So it's awesome. So definitely go give Troy a follow on Twitch if you like Twitch. I love Twitch. Twitch is one of those things that I forget that even exists sometimes until I see your name pop up. I'm like, oh, I forget I can watch people stream games. I love when people stream video games. Kid Knapsack's on there, so there are a lot of great people that do Twitch. So Troy's definitely one of them. He won't just talk about Pokemon either. I mean,
Oh no, I'm a wide variety. You get me talking, I'll get to talking about anything.
You're a very well-rounded gentleman. So yeah, it's fine.
Oh, thanks. I am very round.
Yeah.
No, well, aren't we all, man? I mean, I got the Ewok belly over here, So
It's our dad bods, Jerry.
Yeah.
That's what.
I don't have
the
a
dad
child,
bod.
but I
The
have a
dad
dad
bod
bod.
is strong here. The dad.
That's
bod
right.
Is strong.
That's right.
Yeah, no, yeah, Jerry, I guess I can plug me real quick. You can find me at the Scott Jarreau on Twitter, Scotty Jarreau. I've been kind of not inactive on Twitter, but I've definitely been more laxed on Twitter. So, like, hopefully when the new year comes around, I'll be back into it again. I'll be at work, probably playing on my phone a lot of the time. But, anyway, no, find me on
dropping
Twitter.
Those F-bombs and, like,
yes.
really, like, punching fools in the face through memes and such. And, yeah, Scotty the Terror Jarreau, as they call him on the internet.
Yes,
so
I am one of the worst. No, make sure you watch our viral video. I mean, and I don't mean to keep calling it a viral video, but I think it's got 1.5 million views, right? It's like insane. Like, that's insane.
We're just amazed because
I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's just cool. Again,
we get a comment every other minute. It's insane. Like, literally, I was 53 minutes ago, we got like 4 comments. It's like, I can't figure it out. I can't, and they're all very mean, but I just can't. I just can't figure it out. Like, how is this still popular? It can't. The trailer came out so long ago, but I guess the movie had come out.
Who's still like searching?
I know,
just being like, I want to watch trailer
the reactions. Yeah, that's the weird thing, and it's always suggestions for people to. I don't know. I guess it's the thing. Like,
thank goodness for the YouTube generation.
YouTube is a whole nother monster.
It is. People kind of forget. People think Twitter's a toxic place or Facebook's time of it. Jesus, Twitter's horrible.
Hey, man.
YouTube's horrible.
That's why we got to get more positive Star Wars content creators on YouTube.
Yes.
Just more positive content creators in general on YouTube, guys. Let's flood it with positivity. So anyway,
I agree. Jerry, where can the wonderful Bombad fam find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter as Jerry the Canon Junkie at the Canon Junkie.
Followers.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy, by the way.
You guys, all you guys who follow me are gluttons for punishment, and that's great. I love you all. But also, you can follow us as the Bombadcast at Bombadcast. You can go to our website. I posted a link to that currently. So the Bombadcast wixsite.com/my site. So go check us out there. And you can also go hang out with us and your old swim coach on Facebook. And just, I don't know, talk about politics and other stuff. And I'm just kidding. We talk about Star Wars. So come hang out with us at the Bombad Fam, a Bombadcast official group. And you know what, guys? I'm going to go rewatch the entire first season of The Mandalorian. Not probably tonight. But, dude, I got to get that in my eyeballs. But until next time, guys, again, happy holidays to all of you. And all of the whatever you're doing. We'll see you in 3 weeks. And don't forget to stay Bombad.
We did it. 2019. That's a wrap,
We made it.
That's a wrap.
More Bombad.